sometimes that I'm glorifying, and that's definitely not what I'm doing. You know, I went to prison at a young age. I was 16 years old, and I went to prison for manslaughter. I killed my best friend at the age of 16. They tried me as an adult. I might have been the second juvenile that they tried as an adult in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
it ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real life street stars. Hold on. I don't know if we should clap for this one. This right here is we got one of the most notorious bank robbers this side of the Mississippi. And when I say that, as we go into this, we're not glorifying nothing of what you did in your past. Exactly. But we do want to touch on what you did in your past. Yeah. So with that being said, we have the Baba Shaka on the blue couch, a long time in the making to get you here.
I was telling him, I said, man, they've been trying to get me on there. When he came home, I say, you the piece to the chessboard. Let's go.
And before we even get into your story, right now you are on the blue couch, you are in front of the lights, and you are telling your story. Stories like this sometimes stay with people, until they, are long gone or they're 88 and they're like, let me tell you about my life. And it's a movie about it. For you to even talk about it now. And you've talked about it before, of course, but for you to be, of course, open about it, what's putting you on that journey, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, first of all, I was hesitant on talking about it because it appears sometimes that I'm glorifying, and that's definitely not what I'm doing. You know, I went to prison at a young age. I was 16 years old, and I went to prison for manslaughter. I killed my best friend at the age of 16. They tried me as an adult. I might have been the second juvenile that they tried as an adult in Shreveport, Louisiana. They was getting ready to start trying people because, the gangs were a lot of gang members were being sent from LA to Shreveport. And so they used my case to basically, because they knew that they were going to be trying everybody, kids, for adult crimes.
Exactly. And let me ask you, in regards to, because we've had guys like Charleston White, King Shu, a lot of other guys who come through, Anthony Dewberry, who were sentenced to hard time for doing a crime under the age of 17. Manslaughter, whether murder, whether first degree, second, third. For your situation, if you don't mind, can you walk us through how does, you said you were 15 or 16?
16. You
were 16. How does a 16-year-old even get into a situation where he took a life of his best friend?
Okay, well, my story was I was a preppy kid, come out the suburbs, Queensboro. It's not the suburbs no more, but it was the suburbs back in the day. And just being naive, running with the wrong crowd. And me and my friend, what happened was we had a guy pulled up on us. We was going to the swimming pool. And he said, yeah, y'all want to buy a gun? And we was like, how much? He said, $25. So we looked at each other. I was like, look, I'm going to go get the money. I'm going to get my half. And we went half on the gun. So we went half on the gun. We had no bullets.
Why did you personally, why did you want to buy that gun, if you don't mind me asking?
Just tempted. I mean, just being a kid and having a gun, just mischievous. Didn't have no enemies because we were preppy kids. Like we was, first of the first polos and Tretons and shell toe Adidas, flat tops.
It sound like the 80s. This is the 80s, right?
The 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Just like 80, 84, 85, 86.
Yeah, y'all fly. Yeah,
so just, if they said you want to buy a car, we'd have been like, it's cheap, So being mischievous, because we went half on the gun, that means that half of the gun is mine and half of the gun is his. Well, so now we doing a juvenile stuff like, well, it's my time to hold the gun, but we ain't got no bullets. You'd have kept it 6 months. I want to keep it some too. You know, do just keep it, right. And it led up into us fight.
Physical fight?
Physical fight. It led us
Over who gets the gun?
Nah, just mischievous stuff in the neighborhood. It led us to us fighting. So at this point, I had the gun, but no bullets. So we ended up getting in a fight, and he had some hands. He can close my eyes, raccoon me up. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, you know, I was one of the type of people. I'm one of the type of people. I ain't gonna keep on letting you knock me up. I'm still not gonna let nobody knock me up. You know, even in my adult going to prison, like you want to fade, but I can't win. You know, nah, we ain't doing that, right? But on this particular day, I never forget it, July 23rd. I had the gun, no bullets. I had a friend. And he said, man, you still got that gun? You ain't got no bullets? I said, yeah. He said, man, I'm gonna go get some bullets from my mom. I said, well, go get the bullets. We're gonna walk to the swimming pool. So we walked to the swimming pool, and I seen him. I hadn't seen him since he knocked me up. He knocked me up. And when I seen him, you know, he approached me. So I got a gun. You know, if you pull a gun, you gotta use it. But I'm not finna fight you, and I got a gun. Like, so I pulled the gun. I'm thinking I'm gonna scare him.
So even way back then, I just want everybody felt like if I have a gun, I'm gonna use that was the mindset even back then.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, you hear people say if you ever pull a gun, you better use it. And at that point, but I'm thinking I'm kind of trying to scare him. This dude had the heart of a lion. You know, he had the heart of a lion, and he might have been a year older than me. I'm 16, he's 17, and he always wore a ring on his finger, so it wasn't no win. But anyway, I'm thinking I'm gonna scare him, you know, like, hey. And he like, you ain't gonna do nothing. You soft, you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm like, hey man, go on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But did he know you had bullets at this time?
He probably didn't even know I had the bullets.
That's great.
He didn't even know I had the bullets. And we stood toe to toe. He got his setup like, let's rock. I'm like, bro, go on, bro. I ain't doing no more fighting. And I shot him one time in the chest, and he took off running. When he took off running, the bullet traveled to his heart, and he died. My life changed from that point on. It changed because I'm a kid, but I just did some adult.
How did it feel when you shot him?
Didn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Especially when, you know, by me being a juvenile, you know, the police they can't question you unless your mom or adult is with you. At this time back in the day, and my mom came in and she was like, "He's dead." I'm like, "What? He dead?"
So let me ask you: did you not render aid? Did you have like an out of body experience when it happened? Did you run away when it happened?
I ran away. Because he ran that way, I ran that way. I ran home to tell my parents, "Hey, I just shot somebody." They like, "What?" I said, "I just shot my friend. I just shot him." They like, "What?" And I just couldn't believe it because at this point, I'm like, I need to wake up from this dream. It's a lot of those I need to wake up from this dream in my life, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't no dream. You know, they took me to the juvenile detention center, and I'm in a concrete room, and I'm saying, I gotta wake up from this dream. This ain't true. I'm gonna lay down, and when I wake up, I'm gonna be at home. And the lights came on about 5. I'm like, I got a murder case. You know?
Did you know the ramifications of what was about to take place? Where you're about to go? I mean, did you know anything?
Not at all. I was charged with 2nd-degree murder at 16 years old. Now, mind you, I'm not in a gang. I'm not. You know, we didn't come from that. Everybody that knows me, you know, they're gonna tell you, man, he was a preppy kid. I was, you know, popular in high school. You know, so I'm not knowing. All I did know that shit just got real. So you gotta, you know, you're gonna have to do what you gotta do because ain't no getting out of this. It's a murder.
Did anybody see you shoot him?
Yeah, I had 4 people that was there. That sat there, and as kids, you kind of see being mischievous. You want to see what's gonna happen,
Right.
and I think that was their stance. I can't really speak for them, but they didn't get up and say, "Man, don't y'all do that."
Right.
Man, get back. They just sit there and watch.
And did you have any inclination at any point to try to lie or try to get out of it, like make up a story, or did you just like, I did it?
Wasn't no getting out of it. And my whole thing was, my defense was, it was naive. My defense was I wasn't trying to kill him, which I wasn't. I just wanted him to get back, and,
It's crazy. Because the stand your ground law, you can fight for that probably now. But this was in Louisiana.
This is Louisiana, 86.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, tell us as far as the trial itself and sentencing. You go to juvenile, and you gonna. So do they?
I get bond.
Okay.
What happened is what they did was they automatically said that, we finna try him as an adult. All right.
How old were you at the time?
16.
16.
1986. So they try me as an adult. I get a bond. So I'm back on the streets. I'm able to try to go back to school and try to pick up my life until the actual trial. So I end up getting a good lawyer, and he was like, "Look, you're gonna have to do some jail time." I'm like, "I can't go in the military, no boot camp." You know what I'm saying? Like, anything but prison. But he was like, "Nah, you're gonna have to." They came to me with a deal of 5 years, and I grabbed it.
Yeah.
I grabbed it, and I went off to the big boy, adult prison.
Yeah, you're in Shreveport, so we already know where this is going.
Yeah, so when I go to the county, which was called CDC at the time, and they called me teenager because I was so young. I had a flat top, kind of looked like just no hair on my face, no hair on my face. So they gave me the nickname teenager. And it's like, "Look, teenager, you going to Angola. You're going to go to Angola." And they gave me the rundown on, how to make it, how I could make it in prison. And I listened to them.
Were you scared?
To death. To death. I mean, like I said, I didn't come from the environment for me to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? I was scared when I shot him, scared after I shot him, scared when I went to prison. But the thing about it is, my mindset was, I done did it. I done did the crime. Now, whatever come with this how you finna rock. This how you gonna rock with it. Matter of fact, when I got sent to Angola,
Hello, real quick.
Okay.
Before you got to Angola, you said they gave you the rundown. I'm just curious, what was the rundown they gave you to survive Angola?
To survive in Angola, the rundown was, it really was two key things. Don't take nothing from nobody, and don't mess with no punks. That was
It's pretty simple rules.
Don't take nothing from nobody, and don't mess with no punks. By me being a kid, being young, all the convicts, they want to make sure when I go down there, you don't get turned out. The only way you're gonna get turned out is if you messing with a homosexual, some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Because in prison, in Angola,
hanging out with, like even conjugating with.
No congregating.
Yeah, no
eye contact. No friends. No nothing. You see?
So in Angola, are they set? Is there like a spot for homosexuals, or would you know how to avoid, or does they I would think they would just.
It's like Penitentiary 1, Penitentiary 2. You remember that?
Yeah.
That might be that. It was a movie called Penitentiary with Too Sweet. So punk. When you see a punk,
right?
At least I thought I knew a punk because they had some muscle bound punks that was lifting weights and shit like that. But for the most part, you knew it when you seen them.
All right, so take us through. We always talk about first day out or whatever, but we like to go through your first day in Angola, like you know, because Angola is one of the most notorious prisons in American history. You know, technically like modern day slavery back then, possibly even now. What is your first day in, like you being that young, that green?
I remember it like it was yesterday. I went down the walk. You know, you had a long sidewalk, and the prisoners, they come from all different units. They could come up to the walk. You know, if they know you, they all right, blah blah blah. They holler at you or whatever. They might be whistling, you know. And I'm nervous. I'm keeping my head up because now I already had dudes school me on everything I needed to do, you know, when I'm there, you know. So first thing I did was get on the phone and call my mama and tell her I ain't never coming home. But because I'm in Angola, when they classified me, they could have sent me to a sweet spot. They sent me to the worst spot, one of the worst spots in the United States. So I said, Mama, I ain't never coming home.
That's for her not to worry about you, or just you thought you're not gonna make it? I'm
saying to myself, you know, I'm in Angola, so I'm gonna have to kill somebody because I'm a kid. I done heard the stories. I done heard these stories. So if that's gonna come to me, then this is gonna be my life. And she started crying. I hung the phone up. I had to hang the phone up because, you know, when your mom cry, you cry. So I hung the phone up and, you know, went back to my bed, sit on my bed, and to one of the dudes I was in the county with. He's, oh, you finally made it. He come, showed me around the prison. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Because what I did was, my mother used to tell me, she said, son, don't give up. She said, use the prison like a university. And that's what I did. I used it like college. I went to drama, I studied drama. Hobby crap. They went through every religion they had in the damn place. You know.
Why go through every religion? Just because?
Well, no, I just was searching for the truth. I was searching for the truth. And when I found a contradiction, you know.
I'm out. Yeah.
Nah,
Next
it ain't. What? You know what I'm saying? What? Jesus went?
What? Let me ask you. What religion is the most contradictory?
Christianity.
You gonna upset a lot of people saying that, man.
Christianity.
We'll leave it at that surface level, all right? Yeah, we can go deep.
Why?
Well, let me think of me. I'm not a person that a lot of people used to get off into religion to debate. So I ain't a debater. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I see something, man, and it just, I can't really think of it right now. What
I'm sure, I'm sure that you go down that path. Boy. But with that being said, what religion did you land on, or are you like now? What do you? I
got a story on how I left Christianity.
Yeah, just tell us that.
You want it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Did you leave running or just?
Nah. I got to tell the story because this story it began to define who I am as Baba Shaka. You know, but I was a Christian, so I would go to church, and all my homeboys they thugging. When I go to church, they would be laughing at me. So I'm like, man, these dudes are they hoodlums, they going to hell. I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to church, I got my Bible. And so this dude, he was a muscle-bound dude, you know what I'm saying? He was a preacher. So he talked in tongues, and he was like, I'm gonna lay my hands on you. He did the tongue, right? So I'm like, oh man, I wanna learn how to do that, right? So one night, I woke up, and I went to take a piss, right? And I'm standing up at the urinal, and there's a guy standing up. He's standing up like he's using the bathroom. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in an open bay dormitory. So I'm using the bathroom. I knew it was a dude right there, so I see him. So he walked away. And then the preacher dude, he stands up. You know, what he was doing, right? On the toilet, sucking the dude. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm a young dude. I don't want to be y'all got me down here.
Yeah, man.
You know, now, mind you,
He was laying hands on your head and early on, like
that's all
talking
this
in
time,
tongues
my
on you.
homies, they laughing because like you going down there, and I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. I called my mama, you know, because me and my mom real close. I called her, mama, why you didn't tell me? Oh no, it just was crazy. So because that was a weakness, you got to realize I'm a kid. I can't be around no weakness. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to be thorough. Everything got to be thorough. And the dude, one of my homies told me, he said, man, I thought you knew. I said, man, nah, bro. I thought he didn't look like a regular punk. You know, he had muscles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he didn't look like a sexual. So, listen.
Damn,
man, listen, I ain't go back to church, bro. So this is what I did. I used to walk the yard, and I seen these dudes that had on all black, and they had dreads, and I'm like, they must, you know, they look like Jamaicans or something, but they weren't Jamaicans. They were Black Panthers. So the dudes used to see me. I was interested in what they had going on. It looked like strength to me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I want to be where there's strength. You know, I want to be a part of something that's strong. You know, can't understand how in Christianity, you have all these gospel singers who they'll come and they'll tell their testimony, and then they want to say, well, that's why I was, you know, this happened to me. I'm like, what? How y'all got molested?
Yeah, I think Christianity might be over-sexualized. Maybe, I don't know. It's like a lot of a lot of stuff going on there.
In the choir, you know, singing in the choir. So anyway, so the dude said, man, you ever heard of Malcolm X? I'm from Shreveport. This is 86. I said, nah, is that a rapper? He said, nah, brother. He gave me the Malcolm X autobiography. It's the first book I read from front to back.
Wow.
And from that point on, this is what I want to do. You know, I realized that all the stories that I had been told was lies. I thought Jesus was white. I thought
Santa Claus was real.
I thought you understand what I'm saying? It was like all the super friends was white.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, wait a minute, all the super friends white? You know, Tarzan over in Africa. You know what I'm saying? He the king of the jungle. And then you getting this new knowledge. Like once you get new knowledge, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's.
I'm curious, why not Muslim? Was a Muslim a thing back then? As far as did you try? Did you?
The Muslims? I tried the Muslim. I tried it. I was more a Pan-Africanist. I was more. You know, I followed my mentor, but was a Black Panther who was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And he schooled me. Whatever he told me, that's what I went with. You know what I'm saying?
So let's get right to it, because your mentor, you learned the art of, or did you learn the art of robbing banks while in prison?
I did. By my mentor. He was a bank robber.
So, like you said, you were getting well read. You start trying different religions. But
I was connected to what you call the Black Liberation Army.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I've heard it. I'm not familiar with what they do, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. So these guys were like Tupac's stepdad, who was actually one of my cellmates when I ended up going to the feds. But we'll talk about that when I talk about the bank robbery.
Yeah.
But anyway, these dudes had been locked up since 72. I meet them in 88. They had been locked up since 72. So they was explaining to me that they were robbing banks to fund different things for the community, you know. And he told me, I listened to him every day. He was in a wheelchair, and he just told me story after story. He's like a griot. You know, he was an elder, you know, white beard, white fro.
Did he tell you how much he was like getting away with during his heyday, or what got him locked up? Did he give you amounts?
They robbed armored cars. You know, back in the 70s and the 60s, if you was in the movement, they was hitting armored cars. That's where it came from. So I would listen to him every day, and he taught me a lot of shit. You know, I studied dealing with Fidel, George Jackson, Huey P. Newton, just all the revolutionary information.
And let me ask you, during your time in Angola, did they put you in the hole?
Yeah. 2 years I did solitary confinement for hitting the police, hitting the guard.
Hit a law.
Because now I'm indoctrinated. That's another part. I got indoctrinated with the pro-black thing. So, I want to be like the hardest,
I'm black, y'all.
Yeah. I want to be the
bigger than
hardest.
black and I'm black,
I'm a kid, but I'm still naive. But it's like I want to be the real deal. Like what I'm saying, like you a pig, and don't say shit to me, and I hit the damn police, and I'm going what they call Camp J, and Camp J is the worst of the worst. That's where they're throwing feces. It's just the worst of the worst.
So that's where people are kind of losing their mind over there.
That's where the people are losing their mind. That's where you have your bipolar. All of your mental insane is back there. I learned how to play chess. I learned how to type. I'm in a single cell, and I'm listening to people hold conversations with themselves in their cells. And I'm still trying to, but at the same time, I had another dude that was back there, and he telling me like, man, you're gonna have to be strong back here. This ain't for the weak.
What was the worst thing you saw during the time back there?
Back there,
Mm-hmm.
I seen a guy eat some feces. What happened was we get an hour to come out and run. And then we got 5 minutes to get in the shower. Well, he was beefing with a dude, and a dude threw some feces on him. And he was so gone, but strong. He took the feces and he bit it. And the dude who threw it on him, he vomit. Like it was the craziest shit ever. Because when he came out of cell, we knew they was beefing, so we take our mirror and we put it out the bar, and we looking, and everybody was throwing up. But he was like, his name was Outlaw. He was a monster. He was a monster. That's where they kept the monsters. Yeah. Like you hear people say, oh, somebody ain't come on the big yard. The monsters ain't on the big yard, bro. The monsters is back there in Camp J. That's where they at. If you're on the big yard, that's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like what C murder is that it's a privilege to be out there. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like, you might have a couple stabbings. They've had a few killings, you know what I'm saying? But the monsters, they're going to put you in Camp J. So they were trying to break me. I'm a kid. And I did the worst thing that you supposed to do is hit the police. You know what I'm saying? But I'm indoctrinated with, this revolutionary mindset. It's teaching me to do this. It's teaching me to fight the power, basically. And it landed me back there,
At any point, did you ever feel like you were losing it? Like reality was
a lot of times. Because when you listen to conversations, I'm listening to a guy it's a 3-party conversation, if that's a 3-party conversation with himself. And sometimes it was entertainment because we ain't had no TVs back there. So you just sit back and just wonder like, damn, what is it? What his wife, what happened? Well, what his wife do? He having a conversation, it's 3 people, I promise God. And it's the entertainment, but at the same time, I kept myself busy. I'm reading the literature, I'm typing, I stayed busy. I kept my mind busy. And then the books that I was reading were about brothers doing this kind of time, like George Jackson. They did this kind of time. So in my mind, I'm saying I'm reliving what George Jackson did, or I'm reliving what Fred Hampton did. I'm reliving what these revolutionaries did. In my mind, I'm like, okay, this is what they said they was doing. Now it's my time to do that.
When seeing other individuals completely lose their mind, lose their sanity, and you're struggling with that as well. Do you look to God or any other spiritual entity to kind of bring you back in those moments where you're like, I think I'm swaying?
Well, yes, but my God was revolution. Mind you, I got indoctrinated. You know, a lot of the things that I was taught, a lot of the things that some of the belief systems that I had, I don't have them today. But at that time, it was revolution. It was you know, I love my people more than I love myself. You know, going to war, I couldn't understand about, even in that prison, I couldn't understand, and still don't understand to this day, how some of your most dangerous prisoners can be in a prison and the guard is like my mom or your mom, and she's saying, lock down, go to your room, and all these dudes go to the room. Like you could get somebody on this couch and they could brag about Angola, but you dudes y'all don't run to the fence. Because we could take the fence down. There's contradictions in what people say. They want us to believe something, but it's not real. Like how do you do this? Kanye West said slavery was a choice, right? And everybody got mad at him, right? And I just agreed with him because I'm saying these dudes are doing life. How do you just do life?
Thousands of dudes doing life.
Yeah.
How you don't want to escape? They don't even try to escape. Now they're gonna be mad at me for saying this.
But you know, I mean, but it's a thousand of us in here, and we fighting each other.
Yeah, we fight each other. You listen to I listen to my man talk about Ferguson, you know, and I'm like, man, when do we just get tired and don't want to do this? We don't want to do it. One thing I can say, and it's a fact, white boys, they hitting that fence. It's like they don't believe in bondage. It's in a spirit not to be in some slavery. With us, we gonna go out there. You see the pictures of them walking behind the horse. We gonna call them Bossa, Boss Man. You know, all this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
They had you picking cotton?
Picking cotton, picking corn, worked in the field. Still to this day, they work in the field.
Like in that sense alone, you're saying black people have a mindset of just enslavement.
We got a mindset of being the toughest OG, the toughest whatever in society. But when I go to prison, I basically bow down to this. And that was a reality. When I got out of prison, I was like, I never subject myself to this shit. There was another reason why when I started doing what we're gonna talk about later, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm going fed, man. I ain't picking no corn, picking corn. And I'm looking at this dude, it's almost like you wanna say something like, man, all we gotta do is come together. We can stop this shit. We ain't gotta come out here. We ain't gotta be out in the field. You know, it's
What do you think? What are your thoughts when you see like a black man like pandering to like the guard, trying to be like a friend, or like he'll down his brother to like get the praise of the boss or the guard or whatever?
Well, back then I didn't have no thought about it because the dudes who was doing it was killers. So you know, it's like you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't got no thought. I ain't just say, you know. And they bugged. We call it bug jumping. Right. You on some coon. You know what I'm saying? But you can't say that because he's a killer. Damn. You know he kill you. I ain't got nothing to think about it. Like okay, I ain't do it.
See, that's the problem right there. You have to have some guys that's not afraid to die.
Well,
that's gonna turn the system.
And the only way that's gonna happen is you get indoctrinated, and you get a belief system.
Yeah,
you get a belief system, something to stand for. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah,
you know we don't.
Yeah, people go in there with no religion, no, just like you said, they out here doing whatever. They go in there, but
go in there. They go. So the basketball court is full. The law library is empty.
Man. That's some of the real shit.
You understand what I'm saying? The education building is practically empty. Everybody is watching rap TV, BET, HBO, playing basketball, playing football, rapping in the studio, but nobody's in the law library to get out of prison. And nobody's basically, you being a revolutionary is a 1%. Oh yeah, and they're lifting weights.
Oh yeah,
They lifting weights.
Most people who haven't been in prison, I think that's the first thing they think they know to do: get in physical shape to be able to stand in prison. So I think that's a mindset.
And to something I think you asked me, we program to submit. Just like when the police come, we run. But I'm just the toughest dude in the neighborhood. You know, you got bodies, but when the police come, they run. So you just program when it comes to authority to lay it down.
Yeah, to not battle.
You see, so when you go to prison, you fighting to get your freedom or us coming together is just not where the mindset is at.
Let me ask you, you were speaking something off camera when we were speaking on Boosie. And of course, if he had to do PC versus, you know.
So Angola don't have a PC.
Explain that, because that's one thing that we.
And first of all, Angola don't have a PC.
Right.
You got a main yard. First of all, Angola holds. Angola is a city. It's a city. The prison is a city. And they have Camp A, Camp B, Camp D, Pine. They name
guards even live.
The guards live.
They
there.
live in houses.
We eat everything that we grow. We eat it. They got a catfish pond. They had a catfish pond that was the sewer system. Yeah. The cesspool. We got everything that we ate. We grew it. Beans, vegetables. The meat came from the cows. We ate the beef. You know, so there is no PC. You dig what I'm saying? So when he came, they put him in another unit. They didn't put him on the walk. A lot of people don't go to the walk. They got revolutionaries. They got cold killers. Never get a chance to go to the walk. Go to the big yard, like they would say, the big yard.
Correct. So
it was this. I think. You know, when you're talking about prison and individuals, you know, if I don't like you, I could basically say whatever, you know, let the masses judge, you know, but definitely not PC.
It would have to take somebody. I guess you would believe someone if they actually did time with, or like maybe somebody's bunkmate, cellmate. I guess would you believe that person? But even that person, do you believe totally? Like if someone tell you, yeah, that was my cellie, and this person was that. Like, do you believe what you don't see? Nah, I don't. Because I've heard dudes say, oh, this dude was a homosexual. And then when I get there and go, the dude ain't a homosexual. See, because if you don't like me, it's just easy for you to say, kind of like cloud chasing, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, this new school thing, but back in the day, like if I ain't like you, I could put any kind of jacket on you. You know what I'm saying? And just say it. And then then when I go, I'm looking for that. I'm saying, man, that dude ain't even like that, bro. This is bad low. Ah, man. All right, Bobby, let's get to it. You learn of, you know, your mentor. And you say he was confined to a wheelchair? He was confined to a wheelchair. He got shot. They did a armored car. And like I said, in 1972, and he was shot by a sheriff. And he was in a wheelchair. Very famous. He was a truth. Okay. He was one of the most respected dudes on that plantation, which is Angola. Definitely. You know, because of the work that he put in New Orleans as a Black Panther. His name was Micey. Okay. Okay, yeah. Wally Mu is Swahili for teacher. Definitely. Yeah, he would be like a Baba, like me, but I'm Baba Shaka. Baba means is elder, father, teacher, grandfather. Correct. So in Swahili. So you know you're doing 5 years, or you get out early, or you know the 5 years you're doing, you know when you're getting out.
Mm-hmm.
So as the last 6 months before you get out, how was that last 6 months? Are you prepping for what you're about to do when you get out? Are you you staying clean?
It was no thing of staying clean because I'm a revolutionary and I was his student. And he was trying to get me ready for society because I'm going back out. I've been locked up 5 years, and he trying to basically he was schooling me. He was teaching me. He was doing what an OG is supposed to do. He was teaching me. When I say he was just telling me what I need to do to survive out there, to stay away from, the gangs that I was going to be headed back to in my neighborhood that wasn't there when I left. You know how things change as you're doing time?
Right. New people come in, they're telling you about how to, hey, you back home.
Yeah, they telling me, they like, hey man, this going on in your neighborhood. I'm like, what? Because my neighborhood was the suburbs. Everybody had a mom and dad, peach trees and apple trees and pecan trees in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Now when I'm going back, crack to hit the scene. When I get out, it's the movie Nino Brown. What was it? New Jack City.
Yeah, New Jack City. Yeah.
Colors of New Jack City. So I'm going to something that I'm foreign to. So my OG, which was my Bible, he like, listen, you need to go out there and you need to school them because they killing the community with crack. You need to tell them about bank robberies. And I'm like, I'm listening to him. But whatever he tell me, I'm listening. And he's telling me, like, look, man, they trying to give it to us. We ain't got to kill our community. So when you get out, you make sure you've been to Angola, you a thoroughbred, you done made it, and you tell them. And so I was preparing to come home.
So when you got out, you knew you was gonna rob a bank, though.
I knew I was gonna rob a bank. So I had a.
Hold on. Before you do that, before you say that, that's some wild shit. Like, just no job, no. I'm gonna see what my mama talking about. Like, we finna hit these banks
because I'm indoctrinated.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people. I'm indoctrinated. I'm you know how somebody would be. You can get indoctrinated in anything. Like when you damuing, you get indoctrinated into, the soldier walk. You know what I'm saying? And I got indoctrinated into.
So let me ask you, because you're coming out of Angola, but you said if I rob banks, the worst they could do is send me federal. Is what you're saying? You're telling yourself.
Well, I'm saying I'm not gonna rob banks in the state of Louisiana because I'm not gonna go back to Angola.
Okay. So just get out.
I'm not going back to, because I seen as a young kid, I saw the contradictions, which we're gonna talk about through this interview. There's a lot of contradictions. There's a lot of illusions. We caught up in a lot of illusions of the world. So when I got out, I got a job. I did get a job. And my people called me and they was like, you ready? So I had some people come to me and was like, look, we finna handle business. And I went and we did it.
Are you out of are you back in Shreveport?
I'm back in Shreveport.
Are you on the borderline of Texas, or were you where you looking at? You still looking in Louisiana? Like, all right, here we go.
No, well, but it was supposed to be, like I said, I was indoctrinated. So it was supposed to be for a cause and what we was doing.
Correct. Yeah.
It wasn't to get a new car or, to flex. It was, and I'm a soldier. So, we did it, and I got like $3,000 a thing. We might have hit for like $200,000.
So let's walk through that. So this is your first one, right?
Yeah, this is my first one. So in my mind, I'm automatic saying, wait a minute, I'm being pimped. Nah, y'all saying, this is gonna happen. And my discipline wasn't strong enough for me to soldier, to be a follower, to do this. So by me doing that first one, I said I could do it myself.
How old are you on that first one?
At this time?
Yeah.
23.
before doing it, did they tell you, hey, we're gonna split this X amount of ways?
No,
So you didn't even know what the hell you were walking into or what you were getting out of it.
no. But I know that it was a lot, and I only got $3,000, and I'm not gonna do it no more.
You're not down for the cause like that. You ain't-
I'm out on the streets. I need a car. There's things that I want, and I think that my selfishness and just wasn't gonna go for it. I ain't finna do it.
How many people were part of that heist?
4 of us all together. I never saw them again. They were revolutionaries. They was the real deal.
Right, come in. Yeah, they probably from somewhere come in.
Yeah, they came in. My people sent them to me.
Yeah.
And they left me with the mindset of, I can do this shit by myself.
So what was the strategy? What was the strategy for that first one? Like, because you kind of know the game.
Mm-hmm.
You knew what was about to happen. You knew. Were you the mastermind? Were you?
No.
Yeah, take us through that.
Okay, well, I'm basically a fresh fish. I'm still young. This is my first bank, so I'm just listening. I'm a soldier. I'm listening to whatever they say. Whatever they say I need to do, then that's what I'm going in with the mask. If I'm supposed to watch the door, then I'm just gonna watch the door. I'm gonna stand there and watch the door while they make their moves where they need to go to the vault. It's a takeover. So I'm basically soldiering at this time. And by me standing there watching, I'm like, man, this shit easy.
Y'all case it beforehand? Like
they cased it.
So they already prepped.
They cased it.
Okay.
They cased it. I'm like I said, I'm soldiering. I'm basically, I'm a follower. I'm doing what a soldier do.
Was it indeed as easy as you thought it was?
It was really easy.
Oh, okay.
Look at him shaking his head. It was easy.
Easier than what I thought.
It was definitely easy. It's definitely easy.
Do people and just bank robbers in general, do they expect resistance? Did you expect resistance? Did your guys expect
No, because
resistance?
once you go in, you realize that the people in there are just workers. Like they regular people. They want to go home. It ain't a tough guy. It ain't you understand what I'm saying? These are women. These are women who, you know what I'm saying? So you like, they're trained to give you the money. Once you learn that they're trained to give you the money, you like, they trained to give me the money?
Right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk to them. This is what's up.
Yeah, and actually I have homeboys, they're dead now, they rest in peace. They was Bloods and Crips. And I used to tell them, hey man, look, instead of doing this, y'all finna get ready to do a kick dough and kidnap somebody. This back in the 90s in Shreveport was a hell of a city, right? So for y'all doing that, instead of doing that, go in the bank. And they would look at me like, man, them white people gonna put you up under the jail. Niggas, you crazy? But this the mind of being programmed. You have everybody selling crack in every neighborhood, but nobody is willing to go get the money where the money is stashed at. It don't make sense to me. If we're dogs, listen, if we dogs, we pits, and we out in the yard, and our master is saying, y'all come get it. If we go run, and that one dog gonna be like, damn, the food up in the house. We try to get up in the house to get the food. Cause we out here, we out here getting this little bit that's in the pan, but the money is there. It's an irrational way of thinking now that I'm 55 years old. But back then, it's like, man, I got the goggles on. I'm thinking, like I'm woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you niggas keep on doing what y'all doing. I'm gonna go do this. I come back, I got a Jaguar. I come back, I got a drop top BMW. I come back, and they like, man, what the hell? I done told y'all, bro. I told y'all still set tripping and over crumbs and get more time. They get more, you get more time selling crack before the crack law. You get more time selling crack than robbing a bank. Right. That's why when we go to the feds, it's mostly white dudes in prison for bank robbery. They get 5 years. You think that you're gonna get life? You think the sentencing guideline was set up for them, right? When you went back in the day in the 60s and the 70s, when they were robbing banks, they go in, get out. So it's a known fact. Now, if you go in there and you shoot somebody, That's a whole different story. You go, but for the most part, you get lesser time.
Speaking of going there and shooting somebody, did you have anybody that resisted? Like, nah, like a hero? Like, so that's just in the movies.
Well, I used to tell them, listen, if we see somebody with a certain type of truck driver hat, like if we would have seen somebody with a pro bass hat on, a white boy, we ain't going in because he gonna be a hero. He done been to Vietnam, he done been in the military, and you don't deal with them. You see what I'm saying? Because he gonna be able to look at us and tell us, you know, man, damn kid, that ain't no real gun. You know, if you went in there with if the gun wasn't real, so you gotta pick your battles wisely when you scoping it. When you go in, it's like, okay, this the right time to do it.
Did you ever go in there and say, "This is not your money"?
Yeah, we said it all the time. We said that all the time. We always say.
But that's what you want to say.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like I want to convince you to give me the money as fast as you can, and that I'm not gonna hurt you.
There you go.
Right. I just want you to let's make this smooth.
So
you know what I'm saying? You don't have to cry because I don't want them crying and nobody have a heart attack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you want them to be calm. Like, man, look, this ain't y'all money. It's insured by FDIC. Was it FDIC?
All right,
FDS. It's insured. The money is insured.
So let me know, because we're about to go into your personal when you did it by yourself. So Are you going in masked up?
At that time, yes.
Is it bandana? Is it stocking cap? Or
mask, ski mask.
Ski mask. Okay, yeah, you scary.
Ski
All right. What is your weapon?
It wasn't until later, when I started trying to analyze, a better way to do it. I always trying to think of better ways to do it.
Yeah. So you walk in with the ski mask?
Yeah, we would get out the stolen car, run in, come back out, get in the stolen car, and we got another car. We get to another destination, jump out that car, and get and
one of the most famous. Yeah. We went to get to yours. We got to get to yours. But,
yeah,
because one of the most famous movies was Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, so the movie, the bank that me and him did here in Dallas, we had Clinton president masks.
Oh yeah. Oh, y'all went in what's the movie with y'all went in like Point Break.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was Vernon. Oh, that was okay. We about to get on that.
This was 94. This was before that movie.
So let me ask you: do you have a time frame in which you're gonna get in, get out? Is it like 5 minutes? If it's not done, I'm
2-3 minutes. We out of there.
All right, so 2-3 minutes is the time frame.
We're doing a takeover. At that point, we was doing takeovers because we trying to, we going in this bank with the idea we ain't gonna rob another bank. That was my my thought.
Everyone is the last one.
Everyone is the last one.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone is the last one.
12 banks later.
Everyone is the last one. Everyone is the last one. And that comes from being ignorant, not having the right people to show you how to invest your money. So we young, so we buying cars, we buying Daytons, you know what I'm saying?
So wait.
Go ahead.
I'm just thinking, like, you never was like, but damn, I got all this money. Let's jump in the drug game too. Like, that was never a thought that let's.
No, because I was already indoctrinated about not selling crack, not selling drugs.
Gotcha. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get everybody else on the same page with me, but they like, nah, niggas, you crazy.
So what was your biggest hit?
Solo Dolo, about 200,000. 200,000.
And he was like, I don't know what to do with this money.
All my friends were dead or in prison, and I was the only one that was out because I wasn't selling dope, but I'm the only one out, and I traveled. I traveled throughout the United States, so money don't bring you happiness.
That is facts.
And I gave my money away.
Easy come, easy go.
I fed the homeless, go to the strip club, and just give money away.
You might have paid somebody's rent, and she might be a doctor right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
Let me ask, what was your weapon of choice, or did you go in with the note just to say, let me pass you the note?
After I was free from the bank with him, I learned the law about firearms. So what I would do is go to Walmart and get the 9mm air gun. And when I come out the bank, I always throw the gun on top of the building. Because now, you in my subconscious mind, I'm preparing myself that I'm gonna get caught. But if I do get caught, that air pellet is on top of the bank, so you can't charge me with the firearm.
Yeah.
So if you charge me with the firearm, that's where you get most of your time at.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The bank basically carry
Armed robbery is different than just a robbery.
Exactly. So I'm throwing it up there. You know what I'm saying? I got my gloves on, boom, throw that up there. You know.
Did you ever try use a note?
No.
Okay, so it has to be
using a note. You probably gonna get about $7,000
from that one tell. Yeah.
And unless you can hit the commercial teller, and he gonna have up to about 50,000. The commercial teller, but like I said, each bank is your last bank, so you're trying to get in the vault.
Do you get in the vault, or do you get frustrated with the manager moving too slow?
As long as you're able to control crowd control, and I could convince you that I'm not gonna hurt you, man, I'm people ready to get that money up. I was in a vault. We was telling him on the way here. I was in a vault solo dolo with a sister, black woman, and she said, "Baby, I wish you could hide some of this money for me." Yeah. So these are regular people, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy as all this sounds, man. These are regular people, but they don't care nothing about that. They don't want you to take their life, you know. And as long as I can convince you, bro, look, I ain't got nothing against you. I just want these people money.
What about security guards though?
Okay. So when you scope in a bank, you want to make sure you get one that they don't have security guards. And most of the ones most of the banks that's compact didn't have security guards back in the day. Now, if you come downtown, it's gonna be a security guard. It's always gonna be a security guard downtown.
What about the paint pellets or the siren, the money that make like a?
Have one of them splattered on me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that we hit, we didn't know anything about that. And when we came out the bank, it exploded. I told him to drop it. Did we drop it? We dropped it. We dropped it, and we skid skirted.
Yeah. And when you hear somebody back, that's one of his accomplices back then, Vernon. We're gonna bring him in. We're not gonna bring him in yet. Okay. We're getting right there. We're getting right there.
Have you seen the movie Set It Off?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do wrong in any part of it?
What they did wrong? It was a takeover. Here, okay, look, they did so many things wrong.
What's the girl the bullshit one? Yeah. What's the name? I forget the scary one. The scary one. That's scary one.
They did so much wrong. From dealing with the takeovers. Trying to see how they end up getting busted. But what I learned, what I can say about bank robbery or any type of see how to say this, any type of crime, how white boys are so good at doing crimes, you don't even see it. You understand what I'm saying? They go through Walmart and, they got one item and they bing, 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 bing. And they got like $500 worth of groceries and just walk on out. You see what I'm saying? So when you got some people, they from the hood and they get out of the car, the guns drawn, you're drawing attention to yourself. Then you go in there, you got people got their hands up, well, somebody in the drive-thru. So when you look over in the drive-thru, they're going to drive off. You know what I'm saying? Because they see everybody with their hands up. The people in the drive-thru got their hands up. So you want to be smooth. You got to be smooth when you doing anything. Anything criminal, it got to be done smooth. You know what I'm saying?
In the movie The Town, that's how you know that you're absolutely telling the truth. Case of bank job, And the guy says, I don't like the guard on this. He's got the high top boots. He's got the gun. He's going to be waiting for us. He's going to kill us. They decide to rob it anyway. They go into the bank. When they come out, the guy has one of them. So when you're preparing for a bank, you do have to look at, is the guard 60 and retired? He's not going to give you any problem. You don't want a 28-year-old Marine with 2 pistols.
He's gonna be a
and
hero.
Shiny boots.
He's gonna be a hero.
And didn't you find it hard to convince your friends to rob banks instead of stealing drugs? Because the casinos are the same way. They won't rob a casino and get probation, but they'll sell drugs and get 10 years. And make
Absolutely right.
1/100th of the money you get from robbing a casino or bank.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.